and welcome to the 37th edition of Beer Issues. My name is Matt Bruckert, and I'm coming to you live, not from Chicago like the sign says, but from my kitchen. But today we're going to be having a Chicago beer and a Chicago dog. They go hand in hand together. The Chicago beer that we're having today is the Goose Island Next Coast IPA, which is a delicious IPA, which clocks in at about 7% alcohol by volume. It's rated 84 out of 100 on Beer Spectator, which makes it a good beer. And I'm gonna have to agree, it is a good, nice, everyday drinking IPA. A little bit high for the alcohol by volume for an everyday, but it's very, very delicious. So this beer, it has a piney hop to it, but you also get a tropical flavor in it. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna crack that, nice sound right there. And I'm gonna go ahead and pour it into this nice Chicago glass we have here with our Chicago theme. So a little bit about the brewery while I'm pouring this, okay? The brewery is in Chicago. The brewery originally opened in 1988. It's actually just a bar, like a pub at the time in 1988 when it first opened. Over time, it grew and grew to the point that now it's actually owned by Anheuser-Busch InBev. So it's grown, switched hands a couple of times over the years, but still producing great beers. To the point that in their main brewing facility, they have 143,000 square feet of barrel aging room. So can you imagine 143,000 square feet of just barrel aging? They're very good at making beer. They do it really good, and this is going to be a really fine example. So it's actually the smell of the beer right up front. It's not going to be an overpowering hoppy smell even. It's kind of a light, and you can get the citrus in the smell. Oh. Now, one thing about this is, a lot of times when you drink an IPA, you get that real bitter, hoppy flavor. Not with this beer. This is a nice, smooth IPA. So it has that tropical fruit flavor without being bitter. So there's not, I'd have to get somebody who doesn't like IPAs to try this because I think it is so light and so refreshing. Even somebody who's not a big IPA fan might be really interested in this beer. Like my wife, who says I have beer issues. So I recommend you give this Next Coast IPA by Goose Island a chance, because even if you're not that, like I said, even if you're not a big IPA fan, this is a light, refreshing IPA that's 7%, and you could not tell me that this beer tastes like 7%. It's very light, very refreshing. If you're a big fan of like the hit you hard hops, this probably isn't going to be a beer for you, because it is, like I said, light, but it's delicious and refreshing. Now, if you've enjoyed this, and I'm definitely going to enjoy it because I'm getting ready to start on my Chicago dog to wash it back with this delicious beer, make sure you tell your friends about it. Make sure they share it with their friends. Make sure they like it and subscribe. All you have to do on YouTube is go in there and subscribe, and then you'll be notified about future issues. You can go onto Facebook, but if you like it there, you're actually not going to be subscribed like you would be on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe on YouTube. That's really important, so you get notified of all the new upcoming issues, okay? And if you've got comments, if you want to talk about this beer, if this is your favorite beer in the whole wide world, or you think it's the most awful beer, I want to hear your opinion. So make sure you make a comment. Let's talk about beer. You can obviously tell I love to talk about beer. But anyway, as my wife likes to say, I have beer issues.